Please don't jump me. I can explain.
I recorded this video twice and I realized in this version I never said Happy New Year, and I'm so sorry about that. So Happy New Year, you guys. I hope that 2025 is an amazing year for all of you. I hope it brings you joy, peace, blessings, love, prosperity, and all of the good things. This year we going up. The bag is getting bigger. Okay, it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. More blessings, more wealth, and more joy to you all. Okay, happy 2025.
Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Leah Lord, and I'm back at it again with another video. If you're new to my channel, hey girl, hey, my name is Leah. I make all types of videos, and if you're a returning subscriber, hey girl, how are you? I hope you're doing fantastic. Did you miss me? Do you want to fight me? Cause like I get it for real, but like, no, for real. Let me explain. Yeah, to all my new subscribers, hey, I see you guys coming in slowly but surely. I see a lot of like new subscribers from like, I don't know, from like I want to say August to December, which is weird because I wasn't really posting, but thank you nonetheless for supporting me even though I wasn't here. I promise I'm gonna get better, and I promise I have a reason for why I was gone. And if you're watching this video, thank you so much for supporting me in all of my videos, not just my story time. And let's get into it. So this video is going to be a life update where I've been, also a Q&A. A few months ago and last month I also posted like this NGL link, and I told you guys to like ask me whatever questions you want. I didn't get a lot of questions, which is completely fine. This video is mostly going to be a life update anyway. So I'm going to do the life update first, and then I'm going to answer you guys' questions in the end, because I did get a lot of the same question, and I do feel like that's going to be answered in the life update. So to begin, for those of you who are new here, just a quick background about me, some cute little facts and stuff like that. My name is Leah. My birthday is in April, so I am an Aries, the biggest Aries. I am St. Lucian, born in St. Lucia, raised in Brooklyn. Let's see, what else? I guess that's all y'all really need to know about me for real. Oh, I started YouTube back in 2020 during the pandemic, but honestly, I didn't really get serious about YouTube. And by serious, I mean, I didn't really start posting content until 2021. So I would say that's kind of where my YouTube journey started. I've tried to be consistent, but you know, life be lifing, like I said. And I haven't been, but this year I'm hoping that I'm able to do that, because I am kind of shifting into like a new journey in my life, and I'm hoping that kind of gives me the boost that I need to make content and to make relatable content for people. So yeah, that's me. Again, thank you so much for subscribing, and let's get into where I've been. 2024, I don't think it was a rough year for me. I think 2024 was actually okay. What I will say though is that I feel like 2024 was a year of learning for me. It was a year of change and transformation for me, and it is a year that I desperately needed. While it wasn't a bad year the whole time, I do feel like the beginning months were a little bit rough. Like, I remember January and February, maybe some of March, definitely April, kind of like questioning where my life was going. I think any time leading up to my birthday, which is in April, like I said, I think I do a lot of questioning. I do a lot of self-reflection. I do a lot of like, I don't know, like I do a lot of thinking and judgment on myself about like where I am and how I could be better and all these things. Growing up, I've always been somebody who was like super ambitious. Like if you've ever met me when I was a child, or even when I was in school, even in passing, like I was always a very like serious child, but I meant business. Like serious business. Like I got good grades all throughout school, except in middle school, 6th and 7th grade, I had a phase. But other than that, like I've always been excellent at school. I've always excelled in academics, and I've always had a plan, right? Get successful, get a good job, get a good house, and just live your best life. Okay, I was gonna break generational curses. Not that there are curses, in Jesus' name. I just wanted to do better and be better and set a foundation and just like appreciate all the things my parents did for me so that I could get places in life. You know what I mean? And so last year, as my birthday approached, I kind of felt like I wasn't doing any of that. I felt like I fell off my horse and I wasn't accomplishing goals. So I was very sad. I was very depressed. Anxiety kind of consumed me, because I would just like lay awake thinking about this over and over and over again. And I cried. I cried a lot about this. And I didn't really understand why, because I pride myself in being a rational person, but I felt like I needed to cry. Like I needed to have some type of like catharsis and some like emotional relief about it, just to let it go and move forward. I'm a really big solution oriented person. So I knew that I needed to cry and get the emotions over with in order for me to get where I needed to go. And I think part of that frustration kind of stemmed from the fact that I wasn't being lazy. You know, I wasn't sitting on my ass. I wasn't laying down. I wasn't doing anything. I was employed all last year, thankfully, blessed and grateful for that. But I was employed, you know. I was making a decent amount of money. I have a good job. Like, it was fine. It was fine. So I didn't really understand what the big deal was. And I knew that I wanted to make things better and I wanted to be higher in my career and I wanted to get these things, and I knew I had things that I wanted to attain, and I was making plans for it. I was doing the research, I was making the list, I was checking it twice, and nothing was moving. Like nothing was actually happening. And so I felt like I hit a really big roadblock and I was just frustrated and stressed. Social media definitely didn't help because I would wake up in the morning and in order to get myself awake and actually, you know, with a boost of energy, I would go on social media. I would open Instagram, which if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I don't even really post on Instagram. I don't post on my feed and I barely ever post even on my stories these days. I kind of felt like I wasn't really going anywhere, and I wasn't doing anything. And, you know, watching other people do things and accomplish things and get married and have kids and get promotions and all these good things, it had me down. And I know comparison is a thief of joy, but if I'm gonna be honest and real with y'all, I definitely was comparing myself to other people, and I never felt envious and I never felt jealous because that spirit has never consumed me. But I did feel like, damn, like what about me? When am I next? Like, what's happening? Like, why can't I reach my goals, not their goals? Why can't I reach my goals? And so that frustration kind of led me to stray away from social media, so I don't like overthink it and I don't continue to compare myself to people. So I stayed away from my Instagram account. I don't know, I just felt like I was existing and I was watching other people exist while I wasn't doing what I needed to do in my life. So I kind of strayed away from Instagram and I strayed away from Twitter. And the only thing I really used was TikTok. But I didn't even comment on TikTok videos anymore. Like usually I'd be commenting on people's videos like, oh girl, you look so cute and da 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 and LOL and da da da. Just like engaging with strangers and trying to bring like positivity and light into other people's lives. Like I wasn't even doing that anymore. I was just watching TikTok videos and I would just be done with it. So with this anxiety and depression, I also felt like my communication took a really hard hit. And that was a new experience for me because I've always been somebody who was very eloquent. I speak very well. I've been published a few times. I've always been a writer in my spare time. When I was in high school and also in college, I used to write fiction work to the point where I read some of my pieces at Scholastic. So I used to always be able to communicate my thoughts and my feelings very well and in a very simple way. But I felt like it was hard for me to just give out simple sentences or convey my messages in an effective manner. I felt like it was either word vomit, I was rambling, or I just couldn't even put together a 6-word sentence. And that was so frustrating for me. So, of course, it contributed more to the anxiety and the depression, and I started to spiral because things just kept going in a nasty, nasty, like domino effect. So, all across the board, I just wasn't feeling like myself. I wasn't feeling up to it. I wasn't feeling like me. And I don't know when it changed, but one day it just did. It just did. And I wish I had a better, more passionate thing to say, like, oh my God, this happened and this happened and this just made me get up. But I don't. I don't. One day I just realized it's enough now. You're done. It's done. The emotional breakdowns and everything, we are done. Now we get up. And that's it. One day I just got up and I just did what I needed to do. And I realized that the first thing I needed to do was reevaluate my goals and reevaluate my plans for life and what I needed to do next. And so I decided that the first thing I was going to tackle was the thing that's been on my mind the heaviest and the thing that I've been thinking about doing on and off for so long, and that was going back to school. As some of you may know, I did graduate with 2 degrees, so I do have 2 bachelor degrees. But I've always kind of considered graduate school. The only thing is I didn't want to go straight into grad school from from undergrad. But honestly, I didn't even think about that during college because my senior year and my junior year were so hard for me that I wasn't even thinking about next steps. I wasn't even thinking about grad school. And the last thing I wanted to do was go straight back to school after I almost didn't make it. I almost didn't get that 2nd degree because it was so rough for me my senior year. So I definitely needed to take a break. And in that break, I worked some jobs that were just jobs. I work in retail. I knew that was not a future for me, but I needed to take a mental break from education. Then I went back into research. That was a good job. We had an organization reorg. We had a reorg, and so I was let go, and I started at my new job, and I'm fine here. I'm fine here. I'm doing something that I'm used to doing. Doing something that I'm good at. But I know that grad school was the next step for me because I wanted to do more. And so I started researching graduate schools, I believe last year. It could have been the year before, honestly. I don't really remember, but I started researching like programs and researching careers that I wanted to get into that still had to do with my field of interest, but in other ways. So the thing that I do, but also in like different industries. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. In different industries. So I spoke to some of my friends that were in tech, some of my people that I went to college with, some of my brothers from my fraternity, and I just spoke to them casually, asked them some questions like, what do you do? What does your day-to-day look like? Do you oversee people? Do you get overseen by a bunch of people? Like, how many meetings do you have? I asked them all the questions I felt like were necessary to my understanding of what was my next step in my career. And I got a lot of good insight from them. So shout out to them, and thank you so much for helping me with that. But I got a lot of information from them, and from then on, I just decided like what was going to be the career that I was going to go into. I started doing my research, I think the end of 2023 into 2024, about like grad school slowly. It wasn't a fast-paced journey. I didn't have really like a schedule panned out. I didn't have a spreadsheet at first about it, but it's something that I always kept in the back of my mind. And so the day I decided to get up and to stop wallowing in my feelings, I decided to start doing my research for grad school. So I'm not gonna lie, I didn't do this in the best way. My application process to grad school, I didn't do it in the best way. I didn't take it slow and work through my applications and work through my resume and work through all of this. I did this in a very fast sped up process because I waited until the last minute to do it. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I waited until the last minute to do it. Was that right? No. Did it get done? Yeah. So I started my process of creating the list of schools and looking for people to write me a letter of recommendation and just thinking about what I would write in my essay. I started all of that in, I think, September, late September, early October, but I really didn't get into it for real until the start of November. And most of these applications were due in the first week of December. So it really was crunch time for me. So, I made my list. I put in all the links and everything I needed to do. I did everything to stay organized and stay on top of it. And I allocated, I want to say 2 to 3 hours a day in order to get all of these applications done. And it was hard. It was stressful because there were times where I was just like, oh my God, like, what if I don't get it? What if they're looking for something else? And it was hard, it was stressful, but I kept myself encouraged. I kept, talking myself through the situation, and I made sure I checked my list, and I made sure I was on top of everything I needed to do, and I prayed, and I prayed, and I prayed, and I prayed, because the times where I couldn't get myself to be rational, and I couldn't get myself to say, you're gonna be fine. It's okay. No. This is not even plausible. Why would you even think this way? What are the odds that this would happen? The days that I couldn't get myself to have that conversation are the days that I needed to turn to God the most, because I couldn't do it, but I knew He could. Okay. And I saw a TikTok, and I'm going to link it down below, but I saw a TikTok. I was just scrolling one day as I was taking a break through my grad school applications, and the girl said, and if you find yourself hanging by a thread, let it be by the hem of His cloth. And I said, oh, wow. I needed to hear that like you would not believe. So much so to the point where I put it on my vision board. And so I had things that kept me going. And I finally reached the finish line. I finished the end of my applications. I finished some around Thanksgiving. I finished them after Thanksgiving. And then that was it. I was just waiting. And I applied to 3 schools. And I got into all 3. Because why not? Because who else? Why wouldn't I get into all 3 schools? Me. Why wouldn't I get into all 3 schools? I have a neuroscience degree. I graduated magna cum laude. Why wouldn't I get into 3 master programs? Why not? And so all the self-doubt I had and all the fear and everything like that, like, of course things worked out for me. Of course they did. And so I was just so thankful and so grateful, and I was just so happy, and I felt so accomplished, because this is something I've been putting off for a long time. You hear me? Like a long time. And the first time I tried to apply to grad school, the first time I took GRE classes, and I was going to take my GRE again and do all these things, like, I was not ready. Every time I thought about taking this exam, every time I thought about applying to school, every time I thought about doing something, I panicked. I had anxiety so much so to the point where I just had to lay down, okay, because I felt like I was going to fall. So it just wasn't the right time. at first, and this time just was. So after I got into all those grad schools, I had to think about which one like I was mainly focused on, like which one would work out for me. And of course I utilized my resources like the internet and ChatGPT and all the compilation of lists and stuff like that. I had all these things to think about and I weighed out my options, and then the day after I got my first acceptance, I was just like, okay, like what am I supposed to do? Like where do I go? Da da da. Like I'm like thinking about all these things. And I went into work that day. I went into our office holiday party. And at the end of the day, our VP of the team, at the end of the day, the VP of our team, she had all these gifts and these goodies for us. And she was like, yeah, like these are just things that I have for you guys. Like if you want them, like you can take them, da da da. And one thing was a bag. It was like just like a tote bag, nothing crazy, just like a tote bag with the logo of one of the schools that I applied to and one of the schools that I got into. And I said, what are the odds? What are the odds that I would be here wondering what school I was going to go to and worried about getting into grad school and what are my options and what should I do? And this bag literally lands in my lap. What are the odds? This school is not even in New York State. What are the odds that this logo would appear here? I never see their logo anywhere. The way God shows up for me when I say, I need a sign, I need your help, I need your advice, guide me. So I was just like laughing. Like when I saw the bag, like I was like, that is so crazy. And I remember I was at work. It's like end of the day, the meeting ends or whatever. And I texted my boyfriend. I was like, yo, like what are the odds that this bag would show up here? Like that's so insane. And so like I just decided to go with that school because I was like, if I'm looking for a sign, this is a sign like no other, babe. This is a sign like no other. God came through for me like he always does. And his timing is perfect as usual. So I'm in grad school. I'm excited. I'm nervous. Because this is something new. It's scary. I've heard, grad school is tough. It's hard balancing life and all these things, but I think I can do it. I know I can do it. Like, I know I can do it. I have a good support system. I have crazy, crazy, crazy faith in God. And so I know I can do it. So I'm excited. I'm so excited about this new journey in my life. I love school. And I know it might sound crazy, but when I was in college, though I struggled, though I had depression, though I had anxiety, though some days it was suffocation, I said, oh no, take me out. Take me out.
I'm done. Cut the show. I'm done.
I got through it, and I think college helped me develop as a person, and it helped me become who I am now. The stability that I have in my life, the ability to organize and be able to get shit done, I attribute that to my mom, and I attribute that to college. So I'm excited for this new journey in my life, and yeah, we'll just see where it takes me. I'm gonna give you guys like bi-monthly updates. I'm gonna try to do some vlogs for you guys, like just like day in the life of a full-time employee and also college student, like all of those things. And we're gonna do this, y'all. We're gonna do this. Like we're gonna do this. So yeah, so that's one thing. The other thing is, while I was going through this spout of like depression and anxiety because of everything I was going through, I was eating terribly. I was eating terribly. And it's because I felt like, I want instant gratification. I want it now. I needed it now. Like, I needed the sodium, the salt, the MSG, whatever it was to make me feel good temporarily. I would do it. No matter how terrible it would make me feel later, I would do it. I had McDonald's. I didn't eat McDonald's for 3 years before 2023. Okay? I started eating McDonald's like once a week. I was eating pizza. I was eating Chinese food. I hadn't eaten Chinese food since literally high school. I hadn't eaten Chinese food. What am I doing eating Chinese food? I was eating Chinese. I was eating pizza. I was eating McDonald's. I was eating Sonic. I was eating everything, babe. I was cooking, but sometimes the things I even cooked weren't even good for me. I wasn't replenishing my body with what it needed. I wasn't feeding my temple, as they say. And I really suffered for it. I was tired all the time. Even yesterday, I was on a FaceTime call. And I came back from walking my dog, and as I came up the steps, like I literally had to stop talking for 2 minutes because I couldn't catch my breath. It's only 2 flights of stairs. Where they do that at? And it just made me feel icky and terrible about myself. And I was just like, damn, like this is terrible, but I couldn't get myself to stop doing it. So you know, like as I was going through the process of applying to schools, for some reason that just gave me motivation to eat better and do better. So I did start eating better. I fasted for a week. I did intermittent fasting. I started eating cleaner, trying to eat salads and stuff like that. And of course, I felt the results because my body started feeling better. I started feeling lighter. Did I drop all this weight? No, I lost like 4 pounds, but I definitely felt better. My breathing felt easier. I could sleep better. So I just like realized that I need to get back on my stuff, right? So going into the new year, as we are now, I really want to focus and prioritize on my health and my wellness. That might not mean going to the gym every day, but that might mean trying new classes, right? I like Orange Theory. Let's do Orange Theory once a week. I like Pilates. Well, that's not even true. I haven't even tried Pilates. But I like the idea of pushing myself and challenging myself. I want to do all the things and I want to feed my body because I'm going to need it. Okay. So that's another thing. I mean, at my biggest, I was 178 going on 180 pounds. And I know that might not seem like a lot to some people, but this is coming from somebody who most of my life, up until my sophomore year of college, I was consistently 113 pounds. So to be at my biggest 180 and not being able to breathe walking up the stairs, like this is a huge shift for me. And I feel like an outsider in my own body. So I'm trying to work on that and trying to get better. But like I said, when things fall into place, they fall into place at the same time. So going into school and applying and being consistent, that really helped me to try to be consistent with my own health and stuff like that, and just like do research about fun new recipes and try to fall back in love with like cooking again and doing all those things. So I'm excited about my new journey as well, and we're also gonna keep up, you and I, like I said, we're gonna do the vlogs, we're gonna do the check-ins, we're gonna do everything. But yeah, and even with that, like I know sometimes people struggle with like staying consistent and having like accountability. Like if you guys also have similar goals to me, so if you want to do like wellness and you want to stay on track with everything, we could start like a little group chat, you know what I'm saying? We could start a little Instagram account where we keep each other accountable. We could do a little WhatsApp chat, whatever, just to like have people to support you and keep you accountable and check in and do stuff like that. So if you're interested, let me know. Hit me up on Instagram or comment down below or something, and we can get something going, because I'm not stush and I'm open to new friends and stuff. So yeah. But yeah, that's basically what was happening in my life. Ultimately, I'm excited for the new year. I'm excited for new things to come. I have goals. I have big goals. I'm trying to dream even bigger. I feel like a lot of the times I try to keep myself at bay and I'm like, hey man, you're doing too much. You got too much chip on your dip. But that can't be true, because I know God, so that can't be true. But yeah, I'm trying to be consistent with things. I'm trying to grow into my faith and my walk with God and everything. So I'm working on it. I'm working on it. We're elevating. We're getting better. We're doing it. We're doing it. Okay. So yeah, that's really my life update. I'm just thankful. I'm thankful for everything that I've been through. I'm thankful for everywhere I'm going to go in my life, because I know I have great things ahead of me. And yeah, I just, again, I want to give God glory that he deserves for helping me through this, because I could not have done this without my faith. Honestly, I really couldn't have. So that's basically where I've been and what's been going on. Just a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression, a lot of helplessness, a lot of wandering in life. And I'm here and I'm better, and yeah, I'm just better. So that's basically what's been going on. And I'm gonna go really quickly. I didn't even realize I've been recording for almost 30 minutes, but I'm gonna go really quickly into the questions that you guys had. I don't know. A lot of these questions were about like where I've been, so I'm not gonna answer those because I already told you. But I will answer like 5 of them. So one of them was, are you and your boyfriend still together? If so, do you think having a private relationship is the best? Yes, me and my boyfriend are still together. We're going on almost 4 years together, and I do think being in a private relationship is the best. I think that I like my relationship private for a couple reasons. A few years ago, I was in a relationship that was very public, and by public, I mean I posted him on social media a lot. I posted us on social media a lot. I posted about us, whatever. I was going to see him and all of this. And this is like back in Facebook days, back in like college. I used to post him a lot. So when I stopped, people were just like, oh, what happened to your man, girl? What happened to your man? And it wasn't anything malicious, but it was just like, I realized that as I was suffering through that, and I was suffering through my breakup, and I was going through a really hard time, the last thing I wanted was for somebody to ask me what his man was at. Okay. So in order to prioritize my peace and my mental health and my mental well-being, I prefer a private relationship for the rest of my life. Yeah. y'all would never see him. I'm sorry. And then also he prefers a private life too. So I want to respect his wishes and I want to respect my peace as well. It's not that I don't think I can trust you guys as my community. It's just some things is just better off kept to yourself, I think. So yeah, I prefer a private relationship. Someone asked if I would ever move to another city and why. I would definitely move to another city. While I love New York City and I love being a Brooklyn girly and stuff like that, I don't think that this is a good place for me anymore. I get very, very overwhelmed every day in this city, like every single day. And it's been like that for a while. I think after the pandemic, things started hitting me even more, that I was just like unhappy and overwhelmed here. I think it's just a lot. It's the sounds, it's the smells, it's the people. It's just so congested. When I have to go into the office, getting on the train, you just never know who's gonna show up on the train. And these days, the stuff they be doing, baby, New York City is giving Gotham a run for their money. Okay, the amount of crimes, heinous crimes that have been committed on the train. Why would I want to go outside? Why would I want to live here? Why would I want to raise kids here? Okay, so like I said, while I like New York City, I do think I'm ready to move. I'm thinking more so staying on the Northeast so that if I need to come back and see my family and see my friends, I definitely could, and that won't be hard. But I'm also open to moving to other places. Like I'm really fascinated by Texas, so like Houston, Dallas, places like that, and then also Chicago as well, because it kind of gives the same ish vibe as New York, just like cleaner. The people are nicer, I've heard. The food is really good, so I would be interested in moving to like cities like Houston and I think Chicago. So those are the questions that I had. All the other questions were like, where have you been, girl? Like, why do you keep leaving us? And I already answered that. At least I hope I did. And yeah, that's the end of my video. I've been talking for a really long time. Thank you so much for watching. If you watched the whole video, comment down below something, anything. Comment down an emoji. I love you guys so much. Thank you once again for supporting me. If you have any other questions, comment down below. I'm happy to answer. Or if you want to DM me, if you want to talk, if you guys are interested in that group that I was saying we could start a little fitness group or whatever, like let me know and we could get on that. But yeah, that's it in my video. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching and I will see you in the next one. Bye y'all.